Preparing. Done. Okay, we are there. Okay, good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining our webinar today on organic waste in cities. And yes, it's proven to be a very serious problem for all the cities, also in Western Europe. And today we are going to hear Philip Tost from Green Collect, who is dealing with this topic in Rotterdam and also has some more links in the Netherlands and building a Biohub. So he will tell a bit about how people can treat organic waste in the right way, more valuable, less valuable in the Netherlands, and what can we learn from it. But first of all, I would like to give the floor to Reinout Nuyten, an agricultural counselor for the Embassy of the Netherlands to Kiev. And we are thankful for the support of the embassy. We are happy and proud for all the achievements the Netherlands is doing in this circularity pathway. So Reinout, thank you very much for joining, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Roman. Where I come from, we have this saying that it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. With that, we mean that we actually do something nice and we get paid for it. But the speaker, Philip Tost, took it the other way, and he's literally working with waste in such a way that it can be reused in the most appropriate way. So that is a very good thing that he does it, and good thing that he can make a living out of it, but even better that we get healthier cities out of it. Like you said, I'm an agricultural counselor based in Kiev. We try to disseminate the expertise and knowledge of the Netherlands in the field of agriculture, in the field of circular agriculture and economy. Philip is, I think, really a good speaker, because the issue of waste in cities is a really big issue globally, in the Netherlands, like you said, in Western Europe, but also in Ukraine. When I arrived 2 years ago in Ukraine, the whole concept of separating the garbage was still very rudimentary. It is in developing right now. You see at Silpo, you see that you can sort your waste. So it is developing, but still much steps need to be taken. And then taking it to the next level, like not only collecting the waste, but then actually thinking what you want to do with it, using it in all kinds of manners for biogas or compost. That is something really very interesting, and I'd love to hear more about it from Philip. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. I'm as excited as you are, and I want to thank you also, Roman, for all your efforts. I know this is also a big topic for you. So thank you very much for organizing this, and I will be, like hopefully all the other audience, I will be sitting and listening with very much interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, well. Okay, Philip, now the floor is yours, please share your screen.
Yeah, I'm going to share the screen. First of all, thanks for having me here this morning. I'm going to do this. This is correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Super. Well, welcome. And also, Reinout, thank you for your introduction here. What I want to talk about today is the added value of the organic waste in cities and what you can do with it. You can recover it from all different means, and we figured out an approach, a modular approach for this, and I'm going to walk you through it. The current status of our company, I'm also going to talk about this, and also the future development. So here we go. And wait, I'm going to go to the next slide. Yeah. Well, the introduction, the first thing you see is like my company is called Green Collect, and one of the initiatives of Green Collect is the Biohub. And the Biohub is a place where entrepreneurs meet and share knowledge. But sharing knowledge is, of course, always a bit sort of vague, but it means that it's a physical location where people can share techniques and other approaches to make viable business cases around circular economy. No greenwashing, no consultancy, just really people working on physical products. Well, if you look at me, I graduated at the TU Delft in 2008. just before the crisis hit. So in the meanwhile, I had a lot of experience in the biogas, and I worked in Cambodia for a small biogas system, but there was no market for it anymore. And what happened was that I had to go into IT to just pay the bills. And there I saw that there was an opportunity to make a mix between automatization and making energy or monitoring processes that can take place in decentralized locations without that much effort on it or that much personnel. So I saw there an opportunity and I took it. I'm being an entrepreneur since 2014, and I launched my Biohub concept in 2018. Well, there's some differences between, for example, you have a really typical Western European market with Scandinavian countries and Britain alike. This is maybe sometimes not one-on-one translatable to other countries, but the essence is the same. There's in the Dutch market the urgent problem with waste. The waste is that there's no way to get rid of it in a cheap way anymore. The Dutch government and also the European government is pushing harder for better recycling and more upcycling. And there are chances there to be gotten if you look at it. And also, if you look at our approach, we started first with the logistical part, driving around with small electric vehicles and collecting waste. And from there on, we're growing further. The Dutch waste market is typical that there's no open waste dumps allowed anymore. You see on the picture on the bottom side, this is not a waste dump, this is more like a storage facility. It's really expensive to get rid of organic waste, 250 euros per ton, including transport. And the two options to get rid of your waste, namely composting or biogas production, are expensive. And they are expensive because there's really the ground is really hard to really high rent on the soil, but also the added value for compost or biogas in the Netherlands is quite low. So people aren't willing to pay for it a lot. Well, our answer is building hubs for organic upcycling, building decentralized hubs for organic upcycling. The essence is here that if you manage to get rid of the part of the transport, you're going to be able to make products that are suited for the local economy, but also without the added trouble of and carbon emissions and other negative sides of the entire logistical chain. Well, how do we work? We drive around the city with small vehicles, electrical, preferably. We go to restaurants and bars and collect all sorts of waste, namely, or mostly the mixed organic waste. We have a setup that makes it smaller, by shredding it and dewatering it. So make sure that there's as little moisture in it as possible. Then we feed it to worms, and we also make biogas from it, and we also make insect feed from it. I'm going to show you. It's in Dutch, but I put names above it in English. Every location that we're building, this is the first location as it's being built. I'm looking at it right now. This is the Rotterdam location. It's a flex working location that consists out a little bit storage containers with a little workplace on top. There's a mealworm farm that's called Biomi Farms. That's the insect mealworm farm. A biomass dryer for using the extra heat from the insect breeding to dry other organic waste. There's a small biogas system. We call it mini vergister, but it's a small biogas system that makes a little bit of heat. The shredder and dewaterer, that's central to the entire system and one of the most important parts. And also a liquid storage for if you have excess material that you can store it and use it later, or maybe sell it to somebody else. This is quite an easy setup, and this may vary in size in different locations, but here you got all the components to receive about 2,000 to 6,000 tons of organic matter per year. And that's for an urban environment with a lot of restaurants, quite a good match. well, where's the money? This is all fun and games to build it. You need to maintain it. You need people in it. You need to. There's all sorts of logistical matters around it. So where is the money? The money is the collection of the organic waste. That's really easy to do. The techniques to convert it into feedstock for worms is really low cost, low tech solution for a high tech problem. And the worms, they have a really good resale value because there's a really high protein content in it. Good for the chickens. Chickens are then again eaten by us, of course. But that conversion from organic waste to worms, there's a business case, a good, solid business case in it. Well, what do you also have side products? The high-end fertilizer. It's the Dutch name is Fras, but I don't know what it translates to in English. It's a mix it's the manure from the worms, but also with the skin because it shreds its skin, and it makes for a really high-end compost. What you see on the right picture, that is spent beer grain from beer breweries. That means that's a really wet product, and it would normally decay and rot. The worms make a lot of heat, and also our small biogas system makes heat. We're going to use that heat to dry this product in and then mix it up with other stuff to make, again, animal feed. So we have like the worms as a food for animals, and also this product as food for animals. So our output is all, we're going to be able to sell all our output. Well, what do we want? We're looking for more partners in Europe. We already have a broad network in the Netherlands. We've got some locations in Belgium, and we're looking for more exchange of ideas and also products across the continent. What we offer also, we offer that also access to the network. And we want to grow into a franchise. I always say jokingly, like the McDonald's of sustainability. That is the essence that it has to be. Everywhere in Europe where you come and you see, hey, this is Biohub, this is going to be the place where our insect feed comes from. This is the place where the products come from. We can bring all sorts of products there. We can deliver our organic waste. We can deliver our plastics. We can deliver, et cetera, et cetera. Everything we can deliver to the location, it's going to be built into new products on that location. Only thing I can say now is like, if you want to join us or follow us on LinkedIn, please do. The website is still in Dutch and really bad, so maybe that's also an opportunity if somebody feels attracted to building our website at least. But we're looking for more partners across Europe, and we have a lot of stuff to offer for it. So I think that sums up the presentation. I'm open for questions, a lot of questions.
All right, that was quick.
Yeah.
So I think your second indication in IT made it that you are very precise and quick in all these presentations. So that's also something very good. But people are asking questions and they want to know more details.
Yeah, I will.
For example, how do you dewater the bio-waste? Please describe this process. How do you remove liquid? Okay,
I can also share the screen probably. Wait, I'm gonna look it up. There's a machine that we bought from Sweden. I'm gonna get it on the screen as you can see it. I'm gonna look for the correct one. It's from the composting industry, but it's not really a composter. It's yeah. Wait, I got it here. I'm gonna put it on full screen and share the screen again. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna share the screen. Yeah, I'm always more for the questions than for the presentation part. Wait. Slide this here. You can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
So what it is, this is a small version with wheels on it. But what happens is that you have an input system where you can throw in the containers as pictured down below. you can enter them in the machine, and the machine has a shredder built inside, and the shredder reduces the size to a maximum of 10 millimeters, so 1 centimeter. Then there's a sieve, so it means like with small holes in it.
Yeah.
And a spring coil at the end. So what happens is that there's a wheel that pushes the organic matter in a tube. The tube is being held back by a spring activated system that pushes back on it. So it gets squeezed in tight. When the pressure is too high, then the coil recoils a little bit and it falls out at the bottom in a collection bin. And that's the mulch you need for the insect farm. But what happens more is that by the pressure, the water falls out and is collected in a different entity. So that's also if you look at the presentation, that's also the liquid storage part. So I hope this answers the question a little bit.
Yes, definitely. So, okay, if we're talking practice and business right now, so do you know the price of such a machine and what is the capacity?
This one, we have one standing at our terrain right now. That's about 14,000 euros investment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are many systems like this available. The one that I have is the 14,000 one, but we're also gonna need a bigger one. The bigger you choose, the smaller the price jump is. So
yeah,
we're gonna buy one that has a capacity of a ton per hour that you can throw in. So that means a ton per hour. That is, let's say that we're going to do 6 tons per day, reducing,
mm-hmm.
And that's going to be about 20,000. So the system that's also pictured here, that's about 300 kilograms per hour.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 6,000 euro jump in the cost price, but there's a threefold growth in the amount of waste you can process. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a good deal, like to do it like this. Yeah.
All right. Well, so it is right. You said it is impossible to dump waste on the on the open site in the Netherlands.
On the landfill, yeah.
But what is the penalty for it? So imagine someone did it. The restaurant in the forest says, well, there is plenty of land around. It's almost like a forest and some lakes around. And for example, in the Biohub National Park or something like that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? It's gonna decompose anyway. What kind of bad thing am I doing? So what would be the penalty for it?
The penalty is that in Dutch law at least, also the material that we're dumping is also really wet. So if you dump it in what you say, then it's not gonna compost, but it's more gonna rot. So you're gonna get a bad smell. But if you have the Veluwe, like the nature area, is really wide and there's not much stuff around. Yeah, you could do it, but just that's typical Dutch laws. Like they say, in a certain time, because there's copper inside the plant material.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna pollute the ground if you do that for a long time. But if you just look at it from a distance and you say like, why not? Yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't do that. Yeah. It's just, but it's just gonna rot and attract a lot of flies, and it's not gonna compost like you want compost to be, like the really thick black soil.
Yeah,
it's not gonna retain water. It's just gonna rot and melt down to like a really puddle of really stinky material. So
yeah, and also exhaust a lot of methane to the atmosphere.
Of course, yeah, that's and at least, and it's gonna be, it's like horrible. Yeah.
It's the worst effect of this organic waste being on the landfill.
Yeah.
People maybe think that the smell is the biggest problem, but actually this smell comes from the process that exhausts methane.
Biogas production. That's also the philosophy at our company, is that we're never gonna compost stuff, because I really believe that if you're going to compost anything, then at least get some energy out of it in the form of biogas or something. Because if you're going to compost, that's also going to emit methane. it's a really big problem, and we're also really focused on the fact of winning back the phosphates.
Yeah.
It's an ending amount of phosphate in the world. We really have to be careful with what we do with it, and if you make products with it or make building material from organic waste, then you're getting the phosphate out of the chain and inside a building or something, and there's no way of getting that back. So we're always looking at methods of like how can you win back the wait, yeah, so from Piotr, yeah. There's always like a way of winning back the phosphate or the nutrients from the organic waste. That's also a really high valued thing in our philosophy.
Yeah, thank you very much. We just got a comment in the
Yeah, I
chat
see the nice questions here.
from Piotr that it's not true that composting emits methane. Well, I think it depends what kind of composting you're talking to, anaerobic or aerobic, right? So
yeah, it's true. What Piotr says is true. If you do it correctly and you turn over the material in the right time, then it shouldn't emit methane. But if you look at least at the Dutch report that was done here, you always get like some sort of emission because it's not really it's just too much in one time, that we got seasonal influx, so then you have a really big pile and then you get methane from there. But if you do it correctly, then there shouldn't be any methane. So Piotr here is right.
It really, devil is in details, so it really depends.
It's practice versus theory. Yeah.
What about there was also a question a bit in advance. What do you think about other implications of organic waste, like processing or upcycling for new types of bioplastics, for example, or other materials?
I'm a bit averse to bioplastics because normally, at the end of the day, it all comes down to like, is it biodegradable? Maybe that's, I don't know what.
I mean, so I mean 100% compostable, 100% bio-based.
Yeah, that should be fine, right?
So meaning like you can wrap avocados or other products in a packaging that came out of organic waste, something like that.
Yeah, but there's also a test that we're going to do. I haven't got the bags here, but there's also a test we're running here at the moment with the worms, because I think that there's also a question from Piotr. The worms that we use are mealworms, so the brown ones that they are not flies, or not flies yet. We're also testing out with black soldier flies, but we're going to test if they can eat the biodegradable plastic, and also look at the manure, what happens there. So we're going to send it to a lab to look if is there microplastics in it, or did they biodegrade it, or we're not sure what's happening there, and then what is the effect on the soil if you then disperse it as a fertilizer.
Yes. Okay. Great. Thank you. Please put your questions in Q&A, not in the chat. Thank you. But there is one. What income per year from Organic Hub do you have?
Well, that's of course really.
Dutch people don't talk about these things, so it's a typical Ukrainian question.
I'm willing to give a ballpark figure at least. If you look at the turnover per ton, what you can generate from this, it should be around 350 euros turnover. So if you do 2,000 tons times 350, then that's what the turnover you're going to do, and just in the Dutch market, you would have to calculate maybe 10 to 15% profit margin on this activity.
Right, but then you have this 350, and if we split it into, for example, payment of companies that you pick up from them, so it's the beginning of the upcycling cycle.
Yeah, we have the entire chain, of course, from the restaurant to the worm.
Yeah.
If you break that down, you can like 2/3 is still based on the collection part.
Yeah.
Also because we're not making the high-end products yet from the worms. So yeah, it's a bit. It has to shift now from the collection part to the product part, and the product part is still in development with a lot of laboratory testing and stuff to get certificates for the proper end products, because you want to prove that it's a good product, right? It's like it's really important here in the Dutch market, because there's a lot of players that make the same product, And you've got big buyers that throw all the mealworms in one bag, but then you have to assure that it matches with the rest in quality.
Oh yeah, that's I can imagine.
Yeah.
The homogeneous product out of organic waste is a big challenge.
Also, the manure, the fertilizer, for example, I got if it contains too much ammonia, then the plants are gonna grow really fast and make roots really fast, but gonna be really weak. So if there's a wind or something, then they're gonna fall down. So you have to test that first, or adjust it, or do something to ensure that it's a good fertilizer. So all the stuff like that is still in a laboratory in nearby here in the greenhouse area.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, like, do you have your own lab, or
No.
So
We use a lot of external labs, but of course, due to COVID, they all jumped on the commercial train there and started tests and stuff. So it's really difficult to get a proper laboratory test at the moment. But some insect farms have their own lab facility, so we do let them sometimes test there.
Right. Okay. There is one more question, because we have in Ukraine some companies or people that start up this organic waste treatment and collection, and they separate and collect. So it's at least some kind of beginning. And they do compost, of course. We still don't have this industry that would upcycle this back to the food cycle, to worms. But question, do you have experience of utilizing compost liquid as fertilizer?
That's yeah. I have like hands-on experience, because I have my own vegetable garden. But this is more. This is also, everything is limited here by Dutch law. It's the liquid is a product that has to be treated again, like, or heated or something, and then all the microbes die. And the Dutch law is really strict at this sense, and Europe is making the law better for the products like this, but at the moment it's still sort of illegal, or I can't make it into a commercial product because it falls in the category of what they call digestate. So it's processed nutrient-rich water with maybe microbes in it. So
right. So after separation, you supply it further to an aerobic digestion complex, right?
Yeah, I must say that I made a deal with the local water cleaner, the facility, that I can, if I first get out all the fats and stuff so that it doesn't clog up the sewage, then I can put it in the sewer, because they built a really high-end installation to win back all the nutrients.
Yes.
They're discovering that they don't win enough nutrients back. So that's but that's not a deal that I can probably make everywhere. That's only for this location. And
Yes, right. So basically, you do make some kind of value, but in the cooperation of this water net or something, what the digestion facilities. And then to be precise, what is your relationship, market relationship? Do you pay them for this utilization, or it's more or less free? Or
the dumping water on the sewage costs me money. So they're going to make a sort of measurement about what I'm doing, and then they make a figure about what their costs are. For this pilot project, we can start with a small amount, but it becomes a quite large sum of money later on. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to put it always in the business case as getting rid of the waste. Yeah.
Yes, it's very normal in civilized economies and free economies, and where there is market of waste, and also where is the strict prohibition of dumping on the open sites. Of course, we don't have that yet. But thank you very much. Then I will continue with questions. How much organic waste do you recycle in your own method a year?
Yeah, that's
you said that already, right?
Yeah, but it's more the aim is to grow up to 6,000 tons per year. But that's really like that's really a large amount. So it's, let's say that realistically, we're going to start in 1st of October. All the machines are aligned here, and we're going to really pump our production. Let's hope that we can achieve 1,000 tons before the end of the year, and then build on build more on that. So maybe I'm aiming for 3,000 to 4,000 tons in the year 2022.
Okay. Is this solely related to Rotterdam, right?
Yeah.
But what would be the total amount of organic waste that you estimate city generates, or at least what would be the total amount that you would be capable to grasp in, for example, 10 years or 20 years, or maybe you have competitors and you don't want to take everything.
I think we're at the current time we have a market share of about 0.5%.
About what?
0.5% of the Rotterdam waste market is in our hands, and that's already quite a large sum that goes there. If you look at the entire market, it's estimated to be 160,000 tons of organic waste per year.
Only organic?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, only organic. So we're scraping at the surface with 6,000 tons. Yeah. But that's for us a good niche to be, because it's important to have it's important to check out the quality of the biomass that you collect.
Exactly, and also it's important to really track what is going on with waste after it's been collected, because I can imagine that very little percent out of that 100, what you said, 80,000 or something?
160,000 about, yeah.
Oh, okay, 160,000, very little percent of that is being treated like you treat it, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. I can say the most part is just thrown away with other waste, which we're using a lot of technical solutions to get people to separate better. But there's also organic waste from maybe from the canals and stuff. You know, the weeds are growing in and they get taken out. We can all use it, but my focus is more. I think there's also the question that I see in Q&A. Our focus is on the horeca, so and not the restaurants stuff, and
yeah, of course, for citizens you need to have a huge fleet of machines and subsidies from the municipality and everything like that. So okay, we mark this one as answered already. Right, so we are working on building new micro cities in Ukraine of about 25,000, 30,000 population, based on 50 hectares of industrial parks. Wow, that's interesting information even for me.
That's really interesting, right? Yeah.
First project in Boryspil, and that's for your information, Philip. Boryspil is where our main Kyiv airport is located, so it's like Schiphol area. So 15 kilometers from Kyiv. How do you build zero waste management system?
I would say please connect me on LinkedIn, Henry, and then right. I think that's because how do you do it? Yeah, the thing is that my philosophy is that you first have to have the logistics in your hand and understand, you know, like what's the customer demand and is there a business case to be built around it.
But if they are going to be isolated or at least autonomous, my idea
the separation should be easier than
it should be easier
system,
but also it means that people that will be living there are more mindful than on average. And also I think organic waste stream is this stream that can be looped locally. So you can basically manage this circulation within the area.
Exactly, and
especially if you grow something, if you have greenhouse or you have.
Greenhouse is perfect. If you say like 50,000 people, that's already a viable viable size of city to do this. It's smaller. Me myself, I live in a village with like 2,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's unviable to start an entire location there. But it's if you say like 50,000 to 30,000, 50,000, that's the same focus we have in the Netherlands here. That I think like then it's viable to have like at least one container with something and a car driving around and people working around it.
Yeah, so he also adds that they are planning to provide energy power through a biomass-based power plant. So that's already part of the answer. What do you think on Miscanthus gigantus as a source of biomass? Oh, I don't know. What is that?
I would have to check it out. Is that the I don't know this one, but it looks like a proper biomass source. I would have, this was, yeah, if you look at this,
Yeah, okay, then
Yeah.
you can reply later
Yeah.
on your emailing or
Yeah.
something. Wow, that's interesting. It looks like a plant to be put near lakes or something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, no, yeah.
or in urban greening. Right, let's move on. I understand animal feed regulation in Netherlands doesn't allow for insects.
Or does allow for insects.
Yeah, I would be surprised, because why then Protex would build that huge facility?
Oh, yeah, Piotr, that to answer Piotr's question, the regulations on this got loosened a bit in February of this year. They announced that there are more feedstock inputs for insects allowed, and insects are better. The only thing that they're trying to, because some people feed animal products to mealworms or other insects, like bone meal from, I don't know, just like sort of byproduct from the slaughterhouses. I don't really understand how how you could feed it to an animal, but the regulation now is that if it's from a cow, you can't feed it to a cow, and if it's from a chicken, you can't feed it to a chicken. So even with the insect inside as medium barrier. So that's the only rule that's at the moment.
Okay, and then next question from him. Also, there was an addition to the question about more strict regulations throughout EU countries that you may be aware of.
No, I think for insects, the regulations are becoming easier at the moment. They're more allowed. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you think the insects from your production could be human nutrition? Regulation allows that?
Regulation doesn't. My estimate, I would, me myself, if I, that's okay. That's maybe a bit bad talking about what I collect. But if you look at the mixed organic waste that comes from the restaurants, I wouldn't put it in a human feed chain without putting several steps in between. If you look at the waste, like from a beer brewer, that would be perfect for your feedstock. Yeah. So that's what we're doing here at the moment. At the moment, it's being used as cleaning material and stuff. So or no, growing material.
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
Me too. I think it should be fine once it's safe, and
exactly.
We've already seen burgers with insects and
the crickets and stuff. Yeah, that's also a thing, and I think that should be okay. But then you have to, if you look at the mixed waste, it's sometimes so bad, and so there's also a part that we of course just chop in pieces and then put in the liquid container directly. Sometimes we have a batch of thing like, okay, this is not going to go into the project. We're going to instantly puree it and pump it away. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have plans or solutions for waste collection from social sector? Well, I think Evgen means suburbs, so countryside, apartment buildings.
Not yet, but I'm. What is it? Yeah. Not yet. We're doing a project in Rotterdam where we collect bread, but which is placed outside in bins. But I've always I try to work as little as possible with municipalities or with households, because it's a really simple thing, because I'm a commercial company. So if there's too much pollution in some sort of waste stream, normally I can just I can talk to the entrepreneur and say, give me better stuff, or you're going to pay more money for me to clean it. So it's a really simple business transaction there. With households, it's really difficult to find out what happened where in the chain. So I'm maybe a bit of control freak, and I want to have full access on the chain up to animal feed. Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine. So that also answers a question of Piotr that he missed. That yes, your bio
Yeah,
waste is more or less homogeneous because
yeah,
it comes from
exactly. That's
um,
yeah.
yeah, mainly Horeca. Okay, then 160 from both, I guess, right? 160,000 tons in Rotterdam. From Horeca and citizens. It's from both, right?
Both. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's in total.
Yeah.
How many workers work in your hubs?
We got it depends on like if we have a sort of formula. Let's say that one employee is can shift 1.5 tons of organic waste per day. So if you're going to do 2,000 tons, you're going to need like 2 or 3 employees, and from there you always have to need somebody on the hub itself. And we have a sort of education program that people are paid here, and then we have now 2 guys running around here and taking care of all the hub and stuff. So, but what we offer here is also forklift certification, safety certification, as you have like the sort of paper that you can work on building sites, and a driver's license B, so you can drive a car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a part that we finance now for a selected group. So we have 3 people per semester that flow in, and if they are able to do the work and are enthusiastic and put in effort, then we put in effort from our side now.
Right. Okay. Thank you. There is also a question from the form. Yeah, I guess that's not something that you do in Rotterdam, but for Ukraine it's still relevant, but also for other countries. Where do you begin when talking to cities about circularity?
Yeah, difficult because in the Netherlands you have really every small municipality has some sort of circularity officer, but of course you can imagine that if you have like a small city, then that person also has like 10 other jobs to do. So my approach here is to first tackle the big cities, because then you've got a dedicated sustainable / circularity department. It's always no, it's a really difficult question, because this is the same thing that I had when I entered the Belgian market. I was unknown with the territory. I also a little bit cultural difference from the Netherlands. So yeah, it's also the approach is always to find the decision makers. Like if you're coming there and you say like, hey, I want money, or I want European money, or I want something, and you're gonna ask you want something, and if you're gonna, because else it's just a commercial thing. You can also just go to the restaurants and say, "Hey, I want to collect your waste," and and just keep it to yourselves without the municipality. But if you want to get the municipality involved and get them enthusiastic, always look for the highest person that you can find that makes the decisions about the budget. Yeah.
Yes.
Because else you're going to talk. The Dutch like to talk a lot and have meetings, and that's a really annoying thing. You're never going to come anywhere. I had so many meetings when I just started out 2014 that ended up in nothing, just nice talks, and then the conclusion was like, okay, we're going to talk about this time again. Yeah. No, I shifted from that to just I'm not going to sit there and talk again. I want to like actions and points. So first make sure like what do you want to discuss and what do you want to get out of it, and also realize that there's the reason why we also don't really work a lot with municipalities is because there's no such thing as free money. That's just if they gave you money, they want something from you, and sometimes it is to get their vision across or get re-elected or something, yeah, so like that.
Wow.
Yeah, just play that market.
Okay, that's interesting and something new, at least about the Dutch cities so far. So you already got experience entering Belgium, which is a little bit unknown to you, but I can imagine how Ukraine is unknown to you, but still I think you are ready to try, right? If there is local partner market for it, then you would expand to other.
Yeah, and exactly. And also, there's let's be honest, there's also a lot of subsidies for projects like this, also to increase sustainability and grow further, and also that part of Europe. So I think if you look at the opportunity, what we also discussed, Roman, that the presence of a large amount of chickens, for example. And what if you can make the feedstock, like the insects or other things, you can process it nearby the location, and make a high-end product. There's no hindrance there to do it. That's the machines, the water, for example, it is quite expensive. But if you look, if you can manage to like push through 1,000 tons through it, and then make worms out of it and stuff, then you have a sort of low-cost solution with a high-end product coming out, a really nutritious, good product that is really healthy. So,
okay, but so you already did this calculations that prove that this protein from insects fed by organic waste is competitive in comparison to regular protein, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and it is there's a case there. It's only the question, is the market ready for it? So that's the reason why we also have the biomass dryer. There's also a chance we're just gonna dry the worms and dry them in, so that you can keep them longer, and also feed them and export them maybe. But I want to use them locally, and we have a farm here nearby that says I want some, but I don't think they're waiting for 20,000 tons of worms per year. No, 20,000 kilograms, 20 tons. Yeah, that's maybe a bit much. So we have to find more channels to.
Okay.
And we're probably gonna pelletize them with together with the spent beer grains that we're gonna squash them.
Right. Okay. So currently the bottleneck is the sales of this worm protein.
Yeah, more like in which state you're gonna sell them, because you get the most amount of money for the fresh ones. But I think that you have to have like a taker that wants them all and sell, and ensures you that they're gonna buy them. But up till the time, we're gonna dry them and make them into other food.
Okay, clear. So guys, do you have any more questions? Please type them in because we have to wrap up shortly.
Yeah, but as I said, I would love to start in Ukraine. We're also looking into in so Belgium a lot, and France, North France, and Germany a little bit. So yeah, we are ready for it.
That would be interesting. We are ready to provide all the local support and partners. And as you maybe heard, this restaurant and food culture in Kyiv, Lviv, Odessa, and other cities is booming right now. So you don't need to travel a lot with your vehicles. So the radius of picking up is very compact. The other point, of course, is that very little people are still ready for it. So it's a little bit of, but pioneering is already being done by some actors, and that's good news. So maybe in 1 or 2 years we have a full-scale market of it, I hope. Okay, is it possible to visit your Biohub?
Oh, yeah, but I should maybe if you wait a little bit, it's not open for visit, but if you just contact me through LinkedIn or something, then we're gonna have like tours here. We also have a small bar inside, so it's every location should have like a little sort of cafe on the location.
Yes.
Yeah, for promotional ends. So at the moment it's still being full on construction, so being paint on it and stuff, and letters and logos and flags and flags. So I'd say send an email and we're gonna do that, but I would plan it in November. We exist for 4 years in November 23rd or 26th, and we're going to celebrate it quite big. So then there's also a big opening of the entire location. And
that's nice for Sylvia. Good information for Sylvia, so she can prepare the visit. I assume from Italy, but maybe not. Well, then if there are no further questions, we can wrap up here.
Cool.
I thank to everyone for enthusiastic participation, and I liked it myself a lot. Also got a lot of useful information. And thank you, Philip. We will continue working on our Ukraine's upcycling of organic waste in cities.
Super.
Thank you for insights, and hope to meet in person in Ukraine shortly.
Super. Yeah, me too.
Thank you again, Reinout and the embassy, for supporting this event. And I wish everyone a joyful, pleasant, and fruitful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you too, Roman.
Bye-bye. Thank you for organizing.